Hi everyone, today our topic is one-step multiplication and division equations. As a reminder, you do not need to write down everything that we'll cover in this video, but be sure to jot down important information and at least one example of each type of problem that we'll cover. Also remember that you can pause the video to jot down important notes, rewind to view information again, and fast forward if you think you got it. Just be careful, make sure you're not fast forwarding too much that you end up missing out on something important. So as a review, expressions are like math problems with no symbols. Inequalities have the inequality symbol, and equations have the equal sign. So we're still talking about equations today, specifically one-step equations, meaning just takes one step for you to solve it. And if you remember, we're putting them on a scale. The left side should be equal to the right side. So if you're going to do something to one side, you have to do the same thing to both sides to make sure that they remain equal. So if you don't have this written down in your notebook yet, pause the video and put that down. All right, so here's an example of a one-step multiplication or division problem or equation. 3c is equal to 15. So I've drawn a little scale, 3c on one side, so it means 3 boxes labeled c. Again, variables, we have no idea what they equal to, but 3 times c, meaning there's 3 times that I see this box c. And on the right-hand side, it is equal to 15 marbles. So this scale is balanced because whatever's inside these C boxes, they're equal to 15. So what I need to figure out is how much is inside one box that's labeled C. In order to do that, I'm going to need to perform the inverse operation. This is 3 times C. I see that C box 3 times. So the opposite of multiplying would be dividing. So if I needed to figure out how much is in each of the boxes, instead of multiplying by 3, I'm going to divide by 3. And I'm going to do that to both sides. So dividing by 3 on the left-hand side, 3 divided by 3 will cancel that out with just C. And then dividing by 3 on the right-hand side would be 15 divided by 3, so I get 5. On the scale, I'm basically dividing my C boxes into 3 groups. So that means I have to divide my marbles into 3 groups. So I have a green group for the green box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that group. I have a blue group for the blue box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also. And I have a pink group for the pink box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 15 divided into groups of 3 means that there's 5 marbles in each of these boxes. 5 in here, 5 in here, and 5 in here. So that it matches the right-hand side. So you also have 5, 5, and 5, 3 times. Okay, so again, this was 3 times C, so the inverse operation was to divide by that 3. So the inverse operation to multiplication is division. If you don't have this written down in your notebook yet, make sure you pause the video and do so. All right, and here's 2 more examples of how you can use inverse operations with multiplication and division. This is x divided by 4 because the fraction bar means division. X divided by 4 equals 5. The opposite of dividing by 4 would be to multiply by 4. And remember, we want to do the same thing to both sides to keep that scale balanced. If I have a 4 on top multiplied by a 4 on the bottom, then they cancel each other out because one's on top and one's on the bottom. So I just get x on the left-hand side. And then 5 times 4 is 20. So the answer is 20. 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. Here is the same as the above example. 6 times x equals 30. The opposite of multiplying by 6 would be to divide by 6. So again, I have a 6 on top and a 6 on the bottom. 6 divided by 6 becomes 1. So those numbers disappear, and it's just an x at the end, 1x. And then on this side, I also have to divide by 6. So 30 divided by 6 is 5. So it's 6 times 5 that equals 30. Be sure that this is in your notebook before we move on to some examples. All right, so here is one example. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can try it on your own first. So we're looking for m. 9 equals 9 times m. Remember, when there's no sign in between, it's multiplication. So if I wanted to figure out what m is equal to, I'm going to have to do the inverse operation. 9 multiplied by m, the opposite is to divide by that 9. Both sides. 9 divided by 9 is 1m. You can put 1m there, or you can just leave it as m. 1m and m are the same. Then 9 divided by 9 is 1. So that means m is equal to 1. 9 times 1 is equal to 9. So you're really just taking that operation, this is multiplication, and you're doing the opposite. But you have to do it to both sides. Let's try one more example. Go ahead and pause the video and solve for a on your own first. So we have a divided by 7 equals 9. Because remember, the fraction bar means to divide. It's a divide problem, so we have to do the opposite. So you have to multiply. You want to make sure you're multiplying by that same number, and you want to do that on both sides. Because 7 on top multiplied by 7 on the bottom, those cancel. Top and bottom cancel. So you just get a left over on this side. You also multiply by 7 on the right hand side. 9 times 7 is 56. So a is equal to 56. 56 divided by 7 equals this 9. So you're always doing the inverse operation. Okay, that was my bad. 7 times 9 is not 56, it's 63. Yeah, you should also check your work first, right? 63. There we go. Let that be a lesson to you. All right, so let me know if you have any questions as you're working on these problems, and I'll see you in class.